Hi ladies. All right, so today we are on day 4 of this SEO workshop challenge, and we are done making the post better. Today we're going to focus on getting it shared in Pinterest. Now I'll say very specifically, I started this challenge saying less social media, but we know, right? We know Pinterest is not really a social media platform. Pinterest is another search engine. And what's cool about getting traction in Pinterest is that it will show up in Google. And listen, have you ever been searching for something on Google and it leads you to a pin on Pinterest? Like, it just, when you do well in Pinterest, it helps you do well in Google. Something interesting I found as I've been working through this the last few months is that where it tells me I'm on page 1 in Google, it's not always on the search results. It's in the image results because I've done it really well on Pinterest. And so a lot of times people are looking, they'll search through it. It's like a lot of reading. They don't feel like going that. They'll search, they'll click over to images, look at the image that looks like it gets the closest to what they're looking at and click through, which is amazing for us. It means we have the opportunity to rank well in one area, which will help us rank well in the other. So today we're going to look at some things in Pinterest. So I'm just going to share this over. I want you to go find the pin you created for this article the first time, okay? Now, for me, this is it. And I'm going to tell you that wherever you are, wherever you were, whatever you've worked on, we are always continuing to grow, right? So I know I could do this so much better. At this point, my ability to create images has improved since then, and this was way back in the beginning because it's even got this beginning part here, which I quit putting on a year ago. Now this pin has done okay for me, but we want it to be better. And some of the newer things in Pinterest, what they're looking for is new, fresh content, not new articles from us specifically, but new images. So one training, a lady told me she does new images for Pinterest for an article that she shares into Pinterest every 6 months, 3 to 5 new images to help get more traction for that. And the thing is, once you have found your branding and you've created kind of a template for what your images look like, it doesn't take long to do this. So I highly recommend Canva for work. This is the first tool that I began paying for, probably 6 months to a year into doing my blog things, because it saves all your images for you, and so it doesn't need to take up a lot of room for me on my computer. I don't have to be at home to work on it. I can go in at any point and pull it. I found a pretty consistent way that I like my images to look now. So all I have to do is open up one that I've used, and there's a template. So I can open it up. I can make a copy of it, then rename the copy of it, and just move images and text around, okay? For what we're doing right now, let's just go ahead and look at the old image. The other thing I love about Canva, right? You can search Canva and find your old design. So I can put in the beginning of it, and it's gonna bring this up for me, okay? And I can see this image. I can open it, right? Open it. Now I have to make it a bit, I'm sorry. Close. Let's see, copy it, close. All right, so I can open it up and I can see, you know what? This is not even my branding style. This is when I was still trying to figure out colors that made sense. Look at this. I bet this image is huge. I didn't even crop it. Oh, look at that. It just can be better. It can be better, ladies, right? Okay, so I am going to use my template that I'm using now and not worry about that. I'm going to just, so I already made a copy of the other template, so all I have to do now is change the title, and I tell myself what kind of image it is. It's probably, I don't have to, but because I save them on my site, it helps me when I'm going back to search for things later. All right, So we're going to save it. Look, we're going to copy that because that's the text I want to use. All right, I'm going to copy this down so I don't mess up my formatting because I follow a template and I don't want to mess myself up there. Oh, look, comfortable is too big in this font. All right, so I don't want it any smaller than 80. So let's look at, squish it a little bit. Oh, I have to squish it too much. So you know what? I'm going to make that a different font. Undo. All right, so let's get rid of comfortable. And let's see, still a little bit with the line height. I want it all to fit. Too much. I love Canva. If you have not done much in Canva, go in, play around with this thing. You can change the width between the letters, the height in the lines. You can change colors throughout. So these are my brand colors. And I always like to make sure that my readers, when they find me on Pinterest, they know this is, wow, this is what the images look like on HopeJOyInChrist. This is her article. I can trust it and click through, because sometimes you can't always trust what you find there. You click through to some weird stuff on Pinterest sometimes, don't we? All right, so I have a brand font, brand fonts, brand colors, a brand template so that it's easy for them to know it's me when they find me. I hope that you have found something that you love that you can say the same thing about. And if you haven't, just play around with it. When you find that one like way that it looks, you're gonna be like, oh, I love that. And then just use it. Okay, so here we are. All right, so here's the image. I'm gonna find a picture. There are all kinds of different ways people feel about pictures. If it should be a person with a face, not a person with a face. It could be, you know, whatever it is that you would like for it to be. Okay, you're gonna make the image, and then we are going to share it out. So give me just a second. Okay, so now we've got our image. You can download it. You can make copies of it. If we're sticking with the 3 to 5, play with it. Make it black and white. You can add different contrasts. They just want fresh content, okay? You could play around with it being no picture. You could play around with it being maybe a quote from the article instead of just the title, but you want to get 3 to 5 vertical images with clear text that clearly matches your branding, okay? So we can talk about that in another video, your branding, but I'm just going to say find a branding you like and stick with it. All right, so once we get it, right, we're going to share it to Pinterest. I recommend that you have some boards set up that are specific to your site. So I have a blog board, and then I have a board that contains the keywords specific to my niche. So practical Christian marriage advice, tips for biblical motherhood, and help to grow in faith. These are the keywords that I try to rank for that I think people are searching. After some keyword search, I had to switch those around. They were like biblical womanhood and biblical marriage and, you know, all of, but that's not what people are searching for. So make sure that your keywords match the keywords people search for. You're going to share them. You don't have to add that into your article. You can share it directly on Pinterest, right? If you go up here to this red box, red plus sign, and create a pin, we can upload it here. We can add the title. We can give it a good description. Give it a good description full of keywords. Add the link here to the article. Choose the board you want to and save it. All right. Once you've done that, okay, you're going to take the old pen. All right, so here's the old pen and the new pens. Share them into your boards, and then schedule them on Tailwind. If you're not in Tailwind, I highly recommend it. You can get in there for free for a long time. I was free. About a year I spent free, and join up to five tribes, is what they're called right this second, and that has helped my reach on Pinterest grow exponentially. If you're not already in Tailwind, I'm going to drop a link in the bottom. Make sure you join it. Schedule it on Pinterest. I'm going to show you that. Schedule it on Pinterest. Schedule it on Tailwind. let's see, Tailwind, open up, log in. Here I am. I'm here. All right, so once you're here, oh, I need to be in Chrome. I'm sorry. Sorry, my husband and I share a Google, and so sometimes I forget that the bells and whistles are in Chrome, and I don't always work in Chrome because whatever. All right, so in Chrome, or if you're not in Chrome, there's an extension for Tailwind, and you are just going to schedule this. Okay, once you're in the scheduling tool, we wait a minute for it to load. All right, you can create board lists in Tailwind, and I have another tutorial in my blogging playlist. If you look through and find Pinterest and Tailwind in there, I've shown you how to set up board lists. Board lists let you select one word, and it automatically pulls in all of your boards and the group boards you belong to that are about that thing, okay? Which is so much easier than adding them one by one, remembering which one is for parenting, which one is for motherhood, which one is for fashion, which one is, you know what I mean? So there's that. You can add it to a tribe. In the free version, you get access to 5 tribes, and it tells you when, if you've already added it to that tribe, if there's a specific rule about how often you can add, and most of these don't have a rule. It tells you how long ago I added it to the tribe, and I'm in a smart loop, so it does that for me periodically, and it shows me which ones I haven't added it to, so I can go ahead and add this pin to the tribes where it hasn't been added, right? Which I'm not going to do. We're almost at the end of the month. I'm almost out of my submissions, but I will later. But you can do that here. You can tell it how often you want this pin pinned. Okay, so I don't want to spam Pinterest and have this pin in all of my boards within an hour. Instead, I probably want to space it out a couple of days, so I'll say 4 days. Okay, if you wanted it 4 hours, you'd use an H, but 4 days. And enter, and it changes and tells you which board and when it'll be picked, and it tells you, it decides what the best times are, and I just go with it because I don't know. And then you just set the intervals and schedule the pin, and it's done just like that. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to come back to you. I am going to come back to you. We're going to do that for the old one. We're going to do it for all of the new ones, and then I want you to come over to the Facebook group. I'm going to create a sharing post, and I want you to link in the old pin and the new pins so that we can give it an extra boost by going in to share or schedule those pins. All right, ladies, now this is going to help us to just get some traction from this older post. There's no reason that we shouldn't just be resharing it. We focus and get on this like hamster wheel of, you know, write a post, promote it for a couple of days, write a new post, promote it for a couple of days, when really what we need to be doing is optimizing the old post and sharing them because they're great, right? And then they get forgotten about and left behind, and we need to be promoting them. It's not a bad thing to promote the great content that God inspired in you, okay? So that is your task for today. You're going to create new images, you're going to share the old and the new, and you're going to share the old and the new in the Facebook group. All right, ladies, I'm so excited about this. I can't wait till tomorrow. We're going to talk about the next strategy, and you all, listen, you have a blessed day until then.